Right, in this video we're going to look at circuit symbols and how to draw circuit diagrams and the two different circuits that you have that you need to be able to draw. So, can you recall all the circuit symbols so that you're able to draw a basic electrical circuit? You need to make sure that you can draw each of these, or not draw them but recognise what the symbol stands for. So the first one being a cell, so we draw it like this. Okay, so a cell is not a battery. A cell is simpler than a battery. It's a single energy source. A battery is slightly different, and it's two cells put together. Okay, so you draw them like this, and you can work out the voltage of that with looking at the voltage on each cell. All right, so that's quite easy, should be able to do. Now you also, so we'll label that one battery. Okay, you also need to be able to draw a bulb. Okay, so we draw that, you draw the lines, you draw a little cross and another line. So remembering these lines are representing the wires. So that one's bulb. Okay, if you just draw a straight line, we sometimes forget to remind ourselves that that represents the wire. Then we need to know a switch, and we can do an open switch like this. Okay, so that's an open switch. And then we can also do a closed switch. Make sure it looks different to the wire. Okay, so you can see how I've done that. By adding these bits here. Okay, that makes sure you know that it's a closed switch, so that it is easy enough for you to differentiate between a switch closed and a wire. All right, okay, then you also, if we just move this up a little bit, then you also need to know what how to draw a motor. So again, the circle and the letter M. Okay, so that's a motor. Now, there's a couple of these that are really simple because of the letters in the centre. So there's also an ammeter, and an ammeter measures the current. Just sort that. Okay, so that's an ammeter. Okay, and it measures the current in amps. And then there's two more that you need to know. So the other two that you need to know are a voltmeter, okay, which measures the voltage known as the potential difference. So there's the voltmeter. And then the final one, slightly different, is a buzzer. Okay, and we draw that like that. Okay, and that's the buzzer. So they're the core components at Key Stage 3 you need to know. Okay, and also you will have covered most of these in primary school, so you should be familiar with them. And then what you need to be able to do is draw them in a simple circuit. So, for example, if we're doing a series circuit is where the components follow one another in one complete circuit, and then one after the other. So if we start off by drawing a battery, okay, so if we do it like this and we draw our battery, we do it like that, there we go. So we've got a battery, and then we decide, right, we would like a bulb in this circuit. So we're going to have a bulb, and I'm going to do it like that. Okay, and then I'd also like a switch in this circuit. So I'm going to do that like that. And I've got my switch. I'm going to show that it's open. And then, as well as powering and making my bulb light up, I'm also going to see if the two batteries will enable a motor to work. So let's just tidy that up a bit. When you're doing this in your books, what you really need to remember to do is to draw it in pencil, okay, and using a ruler. So I have got two cells to make a battery there. Okay, I have got a bulb, an open switch and a motor. Now you don't have to state that it's an open switch. You can just say that it's a switch. Now the interesting bit here, the bit I want to point out is that this is a series circuit, which I mentioned before means they all follow in series. So look, they all follow a loop. It all goes in one loop all the way round.